We're gonna listen to a little bit of Tucker Carlson interviewing Kanye West, and we're going to, run the dialogue. We're gonna talk about it. This is gonna be perfect for um, the Premium Black News channel. This is definitely where we're going to be going in this direction here, talking about Kanye, someone who, I have to be honest, I didn't care for Kanye for a while. I didn't start, it took me a long time to warm up to Kanye West. And with the help of MoFax and Adam Curry on YouTube, if you looked up MoFax, Adam Curry, there's a couple of things about Kanye West that I have to admit, MoFax has such a great argument, and I have to give him his props, because I used to look at Kanye West as some sort of beta buffoon, and that's not really fair, because this man has basically done everything he said he was going to do in life, and hats down, my hat's off to him, and I say much respect for your accomplishments. And let's hear what you have to say to Tucker on the matter. This is fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. This is fair use. Christopher Perkins, what's up, buddy? Kanye West. Kanye West's articulation is brilliant. He is a genius and our God. Whoa. That's heavy, man.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. Kanye West, now known as Ye, is one of the best-selling musical artists in the world. He's also in recent years become a celebrated and very highly paid fashion designer. And of course, for a decade, he was well known to TV audiences as an in-law of the Kardashian family. But it's West's latest incarnation as a kind of Christian evangelist that brought us to his office in Los Angeles today for the interview you're about to see. Days ago, during Fashion Week in Paris, West, accompanied by his friend Candace Owens, unveiled a T-shirt that read simply, "White Lives Matter." The response from the fashion industry and international media was instantaneous and uniform. Shock, horror, rage. "There is no excuse for this," thundered the New York Times. "West is legitimizing extremism," shrieked Rolling Stone, etc., etc. What was strikingly
West is legitimizing extremism by wearing the White Lives Matter shirt. Wow. This is what the New York Times had to say. Jesus.
missing from the coverage, however, was any explanation for why West did this. What was the T-shirt about? No one seemed to think to ask him, much less to listen to what he had to say. Instead, the enemies of his ideas dismissed West, as they have for years, as mentally ill. Too crazy to take seriously. Look away, ignore him. He's a mental patient. There's nothing to see here. But is West crazy? You can judge for yourself as you watch what we're about to show you. He has his own ideas, we can say that. Creative people tend to. That's why they're artists, not actuaries. His freeform social media posts give the impression of a man channeling his rawest emotions right onto Instagram. The effect can be jarring and is often used as ammunition against him in the battle for influence over the minds of America's young people, and that battle is intense. But crazy? That was not our conclusion. In fact, we've rarely heard a man speak so honestly and so movingly about what he believes. But again, you can judge for yourself. Here it is. So you just came from Paris Fashion Week, you just landed, and the lanyard's still on from it, and there's a photograph on it. What is that?
It's a photograph of a baby's ultrasound.
Why is that? And that you designed that?
Yes.
Why? What does that mean?
It just represents life and pro-life.
Boy, so you wear it on a badge. What kind of response do you get? And good, amen. I agree.
I don't care about people's responses. I care about the fact that there's more black babies being aborted than born in New York City at this point.
Woo! Whoa. There are more babies being aborted in New York City than there are being born. Whoa. That's heavy. That's like coming out the gate with the left hook. So he's wearing a lanyard, you know, one of those things that tell you you got backstage access, and on that lanyard is a sonogram because he's pro-life. Okay, he's sounding like what's this guy? What's he sounding like? He's sounding like Muhammad Ali a little bit.
That 50% of black death in America is abortion. So I really don't care about people's responses. I perform for an audience of one, and that's God.
Hmm.
I'm starting to see why they want to make you be quiet.
Facts. We got a guy talking about pro-choice and is wearing a lanyard with a sonogram, and he's talking about God. You know, this reality that we in, this reality is all about not having a God. And he's promoting God. So we'll see.
When did you start to feel this way? When did you start to realize this?
I really felt like, I think I started to really feel this need to express myself on another level when Trump was running for office, and I liked him.
Yes.
And every single person in Hollywood, from my ex-wife to my mother-in-law to my manager at that time to, you know, my so-called friends / handlers around me told me, like, if I said that
Friends / handlers around me. That's real honest. That's very honest. Because a lot of these artists, they are introduced to people that are now under their payroll that they start to develop a friendship with, when really what brought them together is that you're my employee. And what happens is a lot of these employees, they become your handlers, and they're very, very, very manipulative.
like Trump, that my career would be over, that my life would be over. They said stuff like people get killed for wearing a hat like that. They threatened my life. They put my life. They basically said that I would be killed for wearing the hat. I had someone call me last night and said anybody wearing a White Lives Matter shirt is going to be greenlit, and that means that they're going to beat them up if they wear it. And I'm like, okay, green light me then. God builds word.
Yeah, we learned about being greenlit from that movie where the guy is like screaming, "You can't handle the truth." Tom Cruise is yelling at Jack Nicholson, and Jack Nicholson is screaming back that, you can't handle the truth. I think that was the scene. Well, the main topic of the movie was they killed someone because they were following orders, and that person was greenlit. So I think I remember that term greenlit from that. I'm not 100% sure though.
Years in a different way. I don't know if it's because of me being born in Atlanta and growing up on the south side of Chicago that he made me for such a time like this. It's like with David, he tended to the sheep, but while he was out there, he had to fight all kinds of animals. So when it was time for Goliath to come, he thought because he was a sheep herder that he didn't have the skill set to take down Goliath. And the thing that I have is the position, I have my heart, but the number one thing is we have God on our side. And for the people, even if you don't believe in God, God believes in you.
So you made reference to the White Lives Matter t-shirt, which you brought out at Paris Fashion Week.
Yeah.
Why did you do that, and what did it mean?
I do certain things from a feeling. I just channel the energy. It just feels right. It's using a gut instinct, a connection with God, and just brilliance. You know, like as if you asked like Tanya Harding how she did the triple flip or the triple spin. Yeah. She was in so much practice that when it was time for her to skate in a competitive format, it just happened. Like it happened outside of practice. It happened in the real format, and that's what's happening. Is God is like preparing us for the real battles, and we are in a battle with the media. Like the majority of the media has a godless agenda, and the jokes are not working. This whole like, oh yeah, he's crazy. All these things, they don't work because the media has, you know, they've also watched travesties happen, just even specifically to me, and just watch it and act like it wasn't happening, and they stay quiet about it.
What have they?
So, I want to answer the white. Yeah. I feel like someone caught what I was saying, the comparison to Tanya Harding about the White Lives Matter. You know, my dad is an educated ex-Black Panther, and he put a text to me that he said, "White Lives Matter, ha 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 ha." And I said, I thought the shirt was a funny shirt. I thought the idea of me wearing it was funny. And I said, "Dad, what do you think it was funny?" He said, just a Black man stating the obvious. And, you know, my dad doesn't listen to rap music, and he's like super educated. We opened up a water distribution center in the Dominican Republic together. He's like the original Steve Jobs, but he was getting blocked every which way with all of his ideas, and he didn't have an endless bank account, and he didn't have Instagram. So all these ideas, he had to like take them back and compress them. Like my dad is the most brilliant person that I know, and we actually have a strain.
Is it just me, or I don't remember him speaking on his father like this? Is it just me, or this is new? And has anyone else noticed that he has not name dropped yet? Okay. I'm impressed so far.
Relationship, because I was taken from him, because my mom was an actress, so she was a liberal, and my dad would see certain things and say, you know, we should do it this way, we should do it that way, and the people got around my mom and pulled her away. Much like, you know, Kim is a Christian, but she has people who want her to go to Interview magazine and put her ass out while she's a 40-something-year-old multi-billionaire with 4 Black children. And this is what...
Oh! Ho, 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 ho! So Kanye West is saying that somebody bent his mother's ear the same way they bent Kim's ear. Little Nas X walking the streets, I see. He's like, the same people that bent his mother's ear bent his wife's ear. That same machine.
How fashion wants to, how they want to present her. So I know you give these questions, and I give you like these 3-part answers. Is this a cool format for you?
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, cool.
And I am following it.
All right.
So you said that your father said when he saw the shirt "White Lives Matter," it's great to see a Black man stating the obvious. So I think you meant that's obviously true.
Yeah, that's my favorite response, because I kept on thinking, like, you know, people, they're looking for an explanation, and people say, well, as an artist, you don't have to give an explanation, but as a leader, you do.
Yes, I think that's right.
So the answer to why I wrote White Lives Matter on a shirt is because they do. It's the obvious thing.
Yeah.
He's referring to himself as a leader. He's not referring to himself as an artist that doesn't have to explain himself. He says a leader has to explain the things that they do. A leader explains the things they do. You know, that's an argument within itself, because does a leader truly explain themselves, or do they just do what they do and we just have to follow?
Why do you think that's so? And I assume the implication is, of course, all lives matter because they're lives, because God created them.
Yeah.
Why do you think that would be?
Tucker had to slip in the all lives matter for his base. Funny.
Consider controversial.
Because the same people that have stripped us of our identity and labeled us as a color have told us what it means to be black. And
that is so true. That is so true. Oh my God, I wish I could just rewind it a little. If I did that, I would have to stop the whole show and go back and all that. But let's pay attention to what this man just said. What this man just said, y'all. Not even Muhammad Ali said this. Wow. I gotta go back, y'all. Hold on. Bear with me. Do not hang up. Oh, I don't even think I could do that. I would have to stop it. It ain't gonna work. I'm sorry. But what Kanye West just said, I don't know if he'll be able to pick it up, but he's saying that the white lives matter is the obvious. Of course, all lives matter. Black lives matter. White lives matter. But the reality of it is, what is white? What is black? These are all constructs of race. And Kanye West is saying they've taught us how to be black. And it's just like soul food. You know, everybody knows I'm a chef. I've been doing this a long time, and I've studied food. And I've studied soul food especially. And I used to work at a place called Londell's in Harlem. I know, and I've sat and I've talked with people about food and the essence and the history and the historianness of it. And let me tell you, that's all British food. That's not real. That's not like soul food is not food that was passed on through generations of blackness. No. That's a lie. The baked chicken and the candy yams and the sweet potato and all that, sweet potato pie and the candy hams and the collard greens, all that stuff is not black Americans. They've taught us how to eat. They've taught us how to live. They taught us how we should act, how we should speak, and what we should do. They did it with movies. They did it with all kind of BS to try to convince us that we are different, that our lives are different than other lives. And this one, oh, look at all that's happened to you. You're different. Stop it, okay? Let's stop playing this game about how I'm black, you're white, you're Hispanic, you're this, you're that, and we are different. No. We are exactly the same. And they use redlining to show us differently. They showed us how to be. They showed drug dealers how to deal drugs. And they said to drug dealers, when you go to that drug deal, you carry a gun and you make sure that you don't get done the way Tony Montana got done in the hotel room when they chained him up to the shower rod, when they handcuffed him up to the shower rod and they cut up his friend with the chainsaw. You know, this is what drug dealing was. They never They told you that you run around like Alpo and you just start shooting people who you got beef with. This is how they taught you how to sell drugs. This is how they taught you how to eat. This is how they taught you how to walk, how to talk. I remember I would visit my cousin up in upstate New York. She went to Marist College, and I would visit her, and all the black guys there, they used to have the most hardcore diddy bop you ever would see. It was just like, why is this hip square diddy bopping so damn hard? It's because they fell into this routine of, I gotta be the black tough guy. I gotta be, they fall right into the stereotype. And Kanye West is saying the same exact thing, and I love it. Let me just keep playing. Sorry, I can't go back.
Vernacular that we're supposed to have. My dad grew up as a military brat, and his family moved around, but they were based mostly in Delaware. And at the time, if they weren't the only black family, they were one of the few. And he would be discriminated against because he was black. So by the time he got into college, he would be discriminated against. He went to a black college. He would be discriminated against because they said he talked too white.
Yes.
And then he played the kick drum in the band. So when he would go to the club and the music was playing, where would he clap his hands? Where the kick drum is.
Yeah.
So it's the opposite of where everyone else was clapping their hands. And this is the most elegant and tasteful person that I know. And when my mom, when the school suggested, like the herding systems, because what they do is take the black community and they separate us, and they separate the families, and the educated, they push this, need for higher education, and us as blacks, we discriminate against each other and say, well, I got my PhD and you don't have your PhD, so I'm better than you. And so my mom, she had a PhD.
Everyone does that who has a PhD. It's a truly pompous, not a black, like in other words, you said one thing, but let me just tell you that everyone is like that. No one is exempt from being holier than thou with the PhD.
And she was influenced to move to the south side of Chicago and take this job at Chicago State University. And she told my dad, if you come for us, you'll never see him again. Because, the media ridiculed me for getting the house next door to Kim to see.
Wait a minute. He just said that his mother told his father that if you come for us, you never see your child again. So, in other words, when she decided to move to the south side of Chicago with her PhD, being influenced by the liberals around her to take on this job or whatever have you, not knowing that she's basically putting her own son and his own life in jeopardy, living in this community with gangs and all this kind of really horrible things that can happen if you're not on your toes. He's saying that his mother, he's saying the things that we don't like to talk about. Like, we never want to, like me, I have a 24-year-old daughter. I don't like to say bad things about her mother. You don't want to say bad things. You want to kind of not be that person. So it's like, but yet the truth is, these are just humans, and they're influenced by tons of crap around them, and they make these women are making some of the worst decisions, and they're manipulating fathers and doing everything they can so that they can be part of this cult of personality where everyone is like, PhD'd and have a family, and the kid is looking so great and so good and articulate and smart, and I can do it all.
My children, and they even said that I was stalking her and her new boyfriend because I bought the house next door to see my children. And And that's how I knew that my mom had said that to him. I said, Dad, they moved us to one of the most agreed upon to be one of the most dangerous places in the world. It's almost like they tried to kill me or something. I said, Dad, why'd you never come to get us? And that's when he told me that she was told that. There's so many things that are put in Kim's head. They bring influencers. Like, no one ever knew where Corey Gamble came from. No one in the fashion world knows where Gabby came from. These people were practically made in a laboratory, in my opinion. And one of the things that they're really good at.
I mean, is he talking about actual cloning? I don't know. But let me tell you, man, these people pop up and you like, who are you? Where are you from? Like, you just, every time I look up, there you are. And now you're part of this. And I'm sure there's just tons of people that are just in this world, and they just pop up and they show up with their really avant-garde clothing, and their back is straight, and they know this and they know that. And I would argue that they're not clones. They're just, they're just the children of COINTELPRO.
Doing is being nice and being likable. And what they do is, for people that have some form of influence, whether it's an educated black woman like my mother that became the head of the English department at Chicago State University, or whether it's the most influential white woman on the planet being my ex-wife, they have people that are around them at all times telling them what to be afraid of. It's like not what to do or say specifically, it's what to be afraid of. And if you have a person that isn't afraid of them, like a Russell Brand or Candace Owens, or it's not that we have to agree with this, but
They're not afraid.
they're not afraid to state what their opinion is.
Yes.
No one is God, and everyone has an opinion.
So a conversation like this is a window into a world that you don't see. So if you're familiar with West from the media, you think of him as an individual man. What you don't think about is that he is at the center of a battle, and people like him are at the center of a battle to get a message out. Mouthed by the lips of influencers like him and so many others, that extends a storyline on behalf of, well, in this case, the status quo. So there are a lot of people vying to make certain that people like him say the right things. And the consequences for not doing that are very severe. So for him to come out and say all lives matter, obviously, is a huge threat to a lot of people. Who are those people exactly? Well, we asked him, and he told us. That's next. Subscribe to the Fox News YouTube channel to catch our nightly opens, stories that are changing the world.
All right. I think that was great. I would like to hear what other stuff is going on. Let me see what's going on here. Whoa, yes. Ava Truth, thank you for chiming in so hardcore like you did. I am enjoying your...
Oh, damn.
Kanye is trolling at the most extreme level. All-Star Sports 23. Let me say this. I'm not saying that he's not the king of the clout chasing. We're all clout chasing to some degree. But here's the thing. Is he clout chasing by calling up whoever he had to call up to get the shirt printed out? And he told the person, listen, I want the same font as the Black Lives Matter, but put White Lives Matter. Give me a white shirt, black lettering. You know, give me a black shirt with white lettering. Like, however, is he making that decision? Is he stepping up and saying, this is what I want done? Okay. What are we doing here, guys? What a dick. Yeah, so what is he doing exactly? You know, is he the puppet master, or is he just got all the strings attached to him? Is someone bending his ear? Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, no. And yes, I believe he is the string holder. He's the string holder of his own destiny, in other words. Like, he's holding the string, and all the cloud chasing is just basically him coming up with what he knows by being, you know, he knows what's going to work in the cloud world, so to speak. I know there was tons of anger. Tons and tons and tons and tons of anger towards the shirt, with like what his father referred to as the obvious. This to the left of me is Washington Square Park. And to the right is one of NYU dorms, I think. By the way, this is McDougal Street, where they have the comedy clubs over here, and they have a lot of nightlife, a lot of drugs. People are openly selling everything out here. Never been to New York. Well, I'm showing you around for real. That's a fact. This is considered the West Village. You know, the NYU area, I guess, you know. Washington Square Park. This is Bleecker Street. We'll go up Bleecker. All the smoke shops around here are all selling cannabis. This is the Gold Rush. Is the record shop still open? Which record shop? What street was it on? Remind me. This is Bleecker Street, by the way. And to the left is where it's always popping. Live music. And now this is going into Soho. We're turning down, I think this is Mercer. And this is Houston. You are appreciated for tuning in on this Kanye West thing here. Is the record shop still open on Bleecker? Ooh, I don't know about that record shop on Bleecker. I'll check it out another day. I won't forget. This is Broadway. Who was there with me when Black Lives Matter was protesting, and then you had that whole group of people breaking in all the stores? Then you had the next group of people that were going into the stores. Who remembers that? I remember you and your dad. Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that day. I was with my dad and we came down here and they were breaking in all the stores. But it wasn't Black Lives Matter protest. That had nothing to do with the break-ins. It was a whole separate sector of people that broke in all the stores. It was so amazing, and I captured all that. And I believe the title for that was You know, I really like Kanye West right now, what he's saying. Like the same people that got into his mother's ear, which I think he's referring to as the liberal media, these liberals got into his mother's mind, into her ear, made his father the enemy. She was probably able to prove to him how she can get away from him and he'll never see them. She probably showed a receipt. Let him know that she had options and the people in that college were going to help. And next thing you know, his wife is suffering from the same people in her ear, bending her ear, making a 40-something-year-old woman throw her ass out in the air like that still. And what was up with her talking about how she met Pete Davidson, how she initiated the conversation and talked to the producers, and the producers were like, oh yeah, we got his number, here's his number, call him. And then she calls him because she referred to him as having BDE, and how she was down to DTF. I mean, like, lady, you're in your 40s, why are you talking like that? You have children. What's wrong with you? Why would you say something like that publicly? Who's pulling your damn chain, having you, like, what are you telling these women, to be aggressive and get what you want? And if you, I mean, she was supposed to be there acting on the Saturday Night Live episode, and then she has a little skit where she gives Pete Davidson the smallest kiss, the smallest tap kiss, and she's saying that was on her mind. It stood on her mind, and because he had the BDE, which is the big blank energy, she just knew that she was down to DTF. She was down to F. DTF. Down to F. And what did she do? Like, come on. Why would she be on a public forum saying these things? Why is this woman allowing people to be in her ear like this? Chasing after this modern woman concept. And it's just so sad. Like, wake up. Hello? But she's so deep in it that she has to put this out there. He's like, you're a billionaire. What are you doing? You are appreciated for checking out this channel again, and I want you to know that I love you. 2022 was a movie. 2020 was a movie? Let me see. Yeah, 2020 was a movie. I remember you and your T-Rilla. Yeah, man, you've been there since you're day one of T-Rilla. All-Star Sports 23, thank you. Also, Ava Truth, thank you. We haven't seen Rob Lowe in a while. I hope he's not upset because of what I said about Taxstone. But if anybody knows where Rob Lowe is, reach out and tell him I say hey. And always remember that I love you.